Yo crew, Silk here, and we are talking about the Tree of Savior International Closed Beta Test 1. Gonna be honest, didn't think that I would end up in this thing, but here I am. I'm happy to be here and talking with you guys about it, but that's all I've got to say about that for now. Let's just get straight into the mechanics and how the game feels. So the first thing that you've got to know, the class system, it's working. Every class feels different, and everything feels comfortable. Every time that you level up to a new circle, the game just tells you exactly where you need to go, and you're able to teleport to the master of that circle. So, you know the deal. You're a cleric, and then at level 15 you get to choose between a priest, a cleric again, or some other class, a Krivis I believe it is. Then, once you choose that next class, you have till level 30 to level those skills, but you keep the skills from your original. So, if I go cleric and then go priest, I have all of my cleric skills that I learned. Heal up to level 5, cure up to level 5, etc. Then I gain new skills from priest. I can now resurrect people up to level 5. If I go cleric again, heal goes up to level 10, and cure goes up to level 10, but I also have new skills that come in. That's the basics of how it works. I'll do a longer video on Tree of Savior basics at some point. But what you need to know if you're interested is in iCBT, all of it works, all of it feels comfortable, and every class combination feels good, like there's going to be good strategies that come out of them, but nobody's going to be extraordinarily overpowered. There were boss murdering classes in Korean closed beta too. Just watch some of Staparu's old videos and you'll see her plowing through these things. Bosses were also a lot easier back then. So that's another thing to talk about. Difficulty. It's a lot harder than it used to be. Players used to complain in the Korean closed beta that they were breezing through this game and they were breezing through the bosses no problem. All moves were predictable and nothing was hard, because they had these long wait times where the bosses would tell you where they were going to attack, a red line would show up, it would move out of the way. It was crazy. Now things are a little bit more fast. Characters need to scramble a little bit to get to the right positions for their attacks and to avoid the enemies. Even at early levels, people are now complaining that bosses are too hard. I bet they don't know how easy they had it in Korea back when. I think, surprisingly, bosses are the most fun part of this game for me. As a cleric, it's not so great. Soloing's no fun. I'm gonna say that right now. It's not fun with bosses, and it's not fun with enemies, and that's because your skills, even though they do enough damage for you, have a long wait time on them. It's so long, in fact, that I would almost rather they heal other players less. Sorry, I've got to explain. Cure works like this. It heals players that step into it and damages enemies that step into it. I almost wish that it would heal players or damage enemies less and then have a smaller cooldown time. Most of me fighting bosses involves me running around like a chicken without a head, avoiding attacks while I'm waiting for these cooldowns to come back up. If I use both of my skills that can damage people on a boss, then I'm out of the battle for 30 seconds plus. It's fun in a party when these skills are being used to support people. I'm dodging with everybody else and watching, and I'm being careful not to use my skills at a time that's bad, that's going to make it so that my party doesn't get the heals it needs because I've used my huge cooldown on the boss. But boy, when you're soloing, it's just chilling 3.5 miles away from the boss and then popping back in when my cooldowns are done, and then just chilling out again. It would be okay if I had to do that maybe 2 or 3 times, something normal for an MMO that's got this sort of quest-to-quest quest line that I'll talk about later. But when you're alone and you are fighting a boss for 10-15 minutes and it's not difficult, but it's mostly waiting, that's no good. Of course, I could also add strength to my priest, and I'm playing a full support role, so I almost don't want to blame the game too much, because if priests and clerics were so easy to play that I didn't need to party, I would be very upset with that too. In fact, I'd be much more upset. I'm just saying, Boss fights, boring. As they stand, no good as a cleric. If you want to have fun and you want to solo, just don't pick a cleric, or pick a cleric that's going to have a bit higher strength than I've got. So moving on to that questline stuff I was mentioning earlier, a lot of players that are looking into Tree of Savior are going to be huge fans of its father, Ragnarok Online. And so it's going to be understandable. You have to know that everyone is going to be upset about this quest-to-quest gameplay that's happening. A lot of people were upset with Ragnarok Online when it implemented renewal, gave more direction to the game, gave it a quest-to-quest system. But Tree of Savior is doing the same. It might just be a modern thing about MMOs that we have to deal with happening. I'm not a fan. I have a lot of problems with quests that I'm going to talk about in another video. But these ones are not Final Fantasy XIV's quests. These are the standard, go kill 10x, you're the chosen one, kill these to prove yourself to me, even though there's no reason for you to do that and you got sent here by a person on recommendation. Like, blah, blah, blah. Nothing in this matters. Just if a cutscene is happening, that's all the information you need to know. Oh no, monsters are attacking the farm. Great. Oh god, these cute little monsters are apparently some kind of horrifying thing in this world. No. It's quest to quest. It's standard. It's boring. I don't like it. What am I going to do? People seem to enjoy this. I think of it like a checklist. But I also understand that if you kind of accept the inherent gaminess of it, video gaminess of it, and you just say, okay, these are quests, you'll go through them, take about 5 minutes each, and they're just, it's a video game. It's not attempting to simulate a living world. It's just a game. These aren't meant to be impressive, amazing storylines that are going to break hearts. It's just like a little bit of extra. It's stuffing. It's syrup. It's the stuff that goes on top of your food. It's not the main course. That's how I feel about quests at the best of times, and that's how I feel when I'm having fun in Tree of Savior. Just, let me do these. Because the combat carries the game. The core systems carry the game. Or I should say that as time goes on, we're going to see if the game can be carried by the rest of its systems. I think that the quests are going to be a point of contention, but I definitely don't think they're anything to write home about, regardless of whether you're someone who enjoys the quest-to-questing of most games or dislikes it. Well, that's it. That was the Tree of Savior closed beta, everyone. Hope you enjoyed my opinions on it, and I hope that I can give you more opinions later. For now, Silk out. See you later, crew.